मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So thank you Matajis once again for joining. Mataji, can this go YouTube live so we don't have to reload?
Yeah, we can do that, Mataji, but that will take some time.
Is it set up? Not yet, no?
We
Okay.
didn't.
Yeah, then leave it. I think Amita Mataji knows she may do it after she comes. Yeah. So thank you very much. So I will do session 2 of what we did yesterday. So yesterday was a brief introduction of like why chanting is important, how this human birth is so rare. And so to attain perfection, the best way of perfection is Bhakti Yoga. And among Bhakti Yoga, we said chanting is the most important limb because are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So chanting is the most important limb of devotional service because what does it bestow on the chanter? Our goal, which is Krishna Prema. So love of Godhead comes through chanting. So we discussed that, and then few verses from the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamritam about how Krishna says that.
Mataji. Sorry,
Yes.
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, మీరు షేర్ చేయట్లేదు కదా మీ విండోనే కనిపిస్తోంది.
Chaitleda, I'm sorry. That's what I was going to ask. 1 second. Yeah, share. Yes, yes, much. Yeah, now? Able to see now? Yes.
It is in the process, Mataji.
In the process.
Okay, yeah. So we discussed, So we discussed some verses in which Krishna is telling us to do the chanting. And then how so this book Living Name is by His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj. So this is a beautiful book I came across and it's very, very inspiring. So I thought I should share this with all of you since you're my dear Sakhis. So yesterday we discussed how this book so before japa we said a few things and we also discussed how we have to see the name as a living name. So Harer Nama, so it's an alive name. So absolute truth is not an it is a he, it is a person. So there is a personality to the Harer Nama, and out of his causeless mercy Krishna has descended in Kali Yuga as an incarnation in the form of his name. So Bhinnatvam Nama Naminam. So there's absolutely no difference between Krishna and Krishna Nama. It is completely spiritual and has descended from the Goloka. So Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. So just like when sun is there, sunshine pervades this entire universe in the material world, like that, this sound is a spiritual sound vibration that pervades our material world also. So as we go deeper into chanting, and if we do it with with what we are going to discuss, with love and with surrender and attentively without aparadhas, then the holy name will unfold and reveal us some mysteries. So the acharyas say you can actually enter the pastimes of Vraja by chanting properly, but you have to be able to do it in the right way. So it is possible. So we don't have to go through this mechanical chanting, thinking why should I do, or I have to do it, so let me do it. uh, or your mind is wanting to do something else and you're doing, so let it not be like that. So it is possible to enter into the deepest mystery of the holy name and also get the taste for holy name. So we discussed how, before japa, we have to align our life so that, japa becomes the most important part of your day. So suppose, you only have half an hour in that day, or we will die in, say, half an hour. What is the most important thing we'll do? I think that will be japa. So that's how we should take every day as. So plan your life around japa, not planning, um, first your other aspects of life, and then fitting in japa. So don't try to fit japa into your day-to-day schedule. Let your day-to-day schedule be around japa. And then then how we should start with our deep prayers to Guru, Srila Prabhupada and Panchatattva. Either physically you can keep them, you can keep pictures of these three, or in your mind, offer in your mind, you can imagine them, offer them flowers, offer them a seat, and then start chanting. And actually, it's all, I mean, I imagine that, we should also have a seat for Krishna, because, Krishna is going to come. If you are going to chant and call him, he's going to come. So we can have one seat for Guru, one seat for Prabhupada, one seat for Panchatattva, and one seat for Krishna. So that should be our mood in chanting. And then, so this book, Living Name, is going to discuss chanting in Yojana, Sambandha, Seva, Vipralambha, and Sharanagati. So today we'll learn about how to chant in Yojana. So what is Yojana? Yojana comes from the word yuj. Yuj means to connect. So it's a similar word to yoga. So yoga is also connection. Yuj is also connection. So here chanting in Yojana means you're connecting, or the English word for it would be to be in alignment. So what is alignment means? Being in, one line, being in one line. So what should be in one line? So we have body, mind, and heart. So all these three, body, mind, and heart, when you align, when you keep it in one line, then we will be doing chanting in Yojana, which is very important. We'll see how it is important. Because why is it important? Because so we have to do everything, even physically, to make this chanting work, because holy name will not work on our hearts. See, we're trying to get the holy name enter our heart, and that's how it removes all anarthas, and then you're inviting Krishna into your heart. So if our heart is not there, our heart is not in japa, then obviously Krishna is not going to enter our hearts. So it's very, very important that we do everything, including these physical alignments, so that our heart is put in japa, and then that's how the holy name will work. Otherwise, we could be chanting many, many years and then thinking, this is not having any effect on my heart. So it is not that the japa is not potent, but it is that we are not doing it in the correct way. So the concept of alignment, if you want to understand, if you look at a sports car, like right here, everything is aligned. For the sports car to run, very fast at, I don't know, 200 miles per hour or something, drivers can go. So everything, the wheels are aligned. So every time, whoever the driver is, he'll go and take the car for wheel alignment. So if the wheels are not aligned, then it's not going to run on the highway, or, not going to run at such speeds. So every part of the car is aligned, the seats, the mirrors, the wheels, everything. And also, if you look at yoga, in yoga also we align, mind, body also. So see how there's a specific way the yogis align their body. There's a specific posture. You can't go wrong there. And also the breathing is very aligned. So this is just to explain what is alignment. So here Sachinandan Maharaj is talking about aligning our sadhana sharira. So he calls our body, this is basically our body is calling us as sadhana sharira. Why? Because this is our vehicle for spiritual practice, right? We said that this human body is very rare. We got it after millions of lifetimes. So what should we use this body as? We should use it as sadhana sharira. So a vehicle for spiritual practice. This is all we have. And this is the only lifetime we have probably. So let us use this sadhana sharira properly. So aligning body, mind, and heart in proper position. So what does this do? This does a few things. It is just not, whimsically or just casually Maharaj is mentioning. There is a science to it also. So anytime, things are, especially when the body is aligned, then we have better concentration. Actually, science also proves that, we have better concentration so that our mind can focus on the japa. And then by trying to align these things, Krishna is noticing our effort. So Krishna is Bhava Grahi, Janardana, right? So even though our chanting may not come out nicely, if you are making efforts to make it better, then, he notices. And then imagine a house like this, a room like this. Would anybody want to go in there? I mean, leave alone us. Would Krishna like to come in that house? No, right? So, and then look at this house. This is all in disarray, and then this is a very well organized house. So, where does Krishna prefer to come? Obviously, into this house. So, like that, when our body, mind, and heart are all in disarray, are all not aligned together, we are just like coming and picking our chanting bag and doing. We are not in alignment. So then Krishna will not like to come. So this alignment, this aligned, or this clean house, as it is welcoming, just like that, our alignment is more welcoming to Krishna. So that is one, that is how we should see it. And
I'll
then,
get a hospital base into 20 lakhs.
so we have to align body, mind, and
Hospital
heart.
beds
Yesterday,
kada one
Hare Krishna, somebody is not muted. So yesterday I talked about temple, right? Sri Rangam temple, how it has 3 gates. So this is the same temple in a sketch form. So see, it has 3 gates, and then the inner sanctum sanctorium, or the Garbhagudi. So you have to enter. So to see the Lord inside the 4th gate, you have to enter through the 3 gates. So we should look at these 3 gates as the first one being body, second is mind, and third is heart. And then the 4th is where the Lord Ranganath resides. So that's why we have to have these 3 in alignment, so that we can proceed towards the inner sanctum sanctorium. And so aligning body, mind, and heart is in our hands. We can use some techniques to do it. But the last door, as I mentioned yesterday, these doors will open from the outside. So you can go and open the doors, but the last door, the pujari has to open it from the inside. So only by the mercy of the Lord, only when we have Krishna Kripa, then those doors will open. So there's no technique, no technique in the world that can make Krishna open that door for us. It is only, our endeavor and our love that he has to see. And out of his mercy, he should open the door. So at least let us, work on these body, mind, and heart to be able to go towards that inner door. So first is aligning the body. So why do we need to align the body? And or before that, how many of you how do you all do your japa? Sitting, standing, walking. This can be interactive. People can unmute and talk. So, or put it in the chat box. How many of you do sitting? How many of you walk?
I sit and chant Mataji. The first 16, definitely I try.
Okay. Very good. Others?
I do sit
Morning,
and chant.
sometimes I sit and do Mataji.
You
Morning.
sit where? You sit where do you sit?
There is a window Mataji, which is there I will sit Mataji. It is straight position only.
Okay. So why is this important is, actually I was, interestingly, I was looking up some scientific articles. 1 second. Oh, my battery is dying. Yeah. So why is this important? Because aligning the body actually calms our mind. So we want a calm mind, right, for doing japa. So actually there's a scientific, there are many articles. I just have pulled this one. So in Journal of Behavior Therapy and Experimental Psychiatry, there's one article which looked at people who are sitting, erect like this. I don't know if you're able to see me, but you have to do chanting in a very erect position. Our spine should be straight, vertical, and then our base should be horizontal. So something like, this right-sided person. So very straight, your spine should be very straight, and this other person is slouching forward. Actually, he's not that bad. I was thinking, we sometimes, we just randomly go and sit on any couch and, start doing. So slouching forward, that is not good. So they did a study and looking at the minds of people who slouch in the chair or who sit very straight. And people who sat upright had, higher self-esteem, higher levels of alertness, and better mood than, somebody who slouches. And then somebody who slouches, I believe they feel very unsafe, and their mind is more difficult to concentrate. And then also another scientific way is when you keep your head straight and not falling like this, your lung capacity is better. So when you sit erect, the lungs get 30% more oxygen because the airway is straight. So this more oxygen will optimize your oxygen flow to your brain and help you concentrate and focus more. So try this. So this is how I think I have another picture of how we should sit. Yes. So sitting in a Padmasana is best. So sit like this in a Padmasana position. And also I've heard that when you sit like this, we have pranas in our body, right? Some go down through the, excretory holes, and then some comes up towards the brain. So I believe when we sit in Padmasana position, our legs will close the excretory exit, like the anal exit. And then the prana comes up. So the prana comes up in this Padmasana position. And when prana means air, so air goes up to your brain and then it will help you focus better. So this is supposed to be optimal. And also it's called, it's doing japa in a mode of goodness. And then, or if you cannot sit down on the floor, somebody with a spine problem or age, then you can sit in a couch or a chair. But again, your spine should be straight. So the spine being straight is very important. Then, yeah, actually, if you're all there, you can try this. We can make it interactive. So you want to, or we will come back to it. So, and then some people like to walk up and down and do. So what I heard, or what I watched from what is available, this is considered less optimal. It is considered to be mode of passion, but people do it when it is allowed. So when you're sleepy, maybe walking is better than sitting. Or for some people, sitting makes their mind, very restless. Their mind wanders too much and they cannot focus. So such people can stand or walk and do japa. But when you're walking, make sure you're not looking around. See, what happens is, even if you're going into a garden and walking, we think, oh, it's nice, I'm getting my walk done and I'm with the nature and I'm getting my japa done. But no, if you're focusing on the tree, if you're focusing on the birds, if you're focusing on the sky, beautiful visions may be there, but then you're not focusing on the japa. So don't look around. So the recommendation is, even if you want to walk, don't look around and walk slowly, because the rapid walking will, again cause you a lot of distraction. And then also, everybody try this. Open your eyes and say one Hare Krishna mantra. Keep your eyes open and say one Hare Krishna mantra.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yeah, now close your eyes. Take a few seconds, close your eyes, focus on the mantra and do it again.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
What is better?
Closing eyes, Mataji.
Because it stops all the sensory stimuli that is coming from the surroundings. So closing is better than opening, and you can try later. Sitting is better than walking. And then for some people who are very sick or disabled, or sometimes you've done so much service that you cannot sit, you're too tired, or your body is not cooperating. Usually, for the Varishta Vaishnavas and all, they can do it in lying down position. Some people say, no, you should never do it in a lying down position. But if your body is not cooperating to sit, it is better to do lying down than not doing japa. So that's how you should see it. So if there's a day that you absolutely cannot do it in a sitting position, then it's better to lie down and do. So this is about, posture, and Maharaj draws these books. So this is ideal. So sitting on the floor, see how erect the spine is. So erect, and then sometimes for some people, if it's not, they cannot sit for 16 rounds, you can put a small pillow underneath your hips. And then for those people who cannot sit on the floor because they cannot bend down so much, they can either put a stool underneath or a chair, with a backrest. But again, the whole idea is the spine should be straight, because the prana should move up, and then the oxygen supply to the brain should be proper. So this is about the posture. And 1 second. So there are, so you can try these postures in later. And then the second one, so about aligning the body. Body has 3 parts in the body. One is posture, one is pronunciation, one is listening. So we'll come to the pronunciation. So pronunciation has to be very, very clear. And I've heard in many places where, you should use your tongue. We use our tongue, but we don't use our lips. So, when we are going very fast, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, my lips are not moving that much. But you should actively engage your lips, they say. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. See how much more my lips are moving. So, you should use both the tongue and lips, and always say all the mantras very clearly. When you break a mantra, or what is called a broken mantra or truncated mantra, where parts of the mantra are missing, then that holy name mantra does not have the same strength as somebody that is chanting a complete mantra. And people sometimes, they say, oh, Krishna is our father, and he should be okay with however we chant. We are chanting with love and all that. All that is true. Yes, some children, when they are babbling, it is very dear to the father, but the father expects the child to grow up, right? So even for us, we may be babbling, but if you keep babbling for years together, Krishna is not going to like it. So please make sure that every syllable is heard. And very commonly, sometimes Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So that middle Hare Hares get dropped. So you listen to your mantra. Sometimes it is good to tape your few mantras, like 10 or 20 mantras, and then listen and see if you're breaking the mantra or if you're leaving some syllables out. So this is an exercise you should do, because paying attention is very important, because as His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj always says, attention to detail is love. So if we love Krishna, then we should pay attention to this detail of pronouncing every syllable clearly. So the word Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada says, should be very distinctly pronounced and heard. And then sometimes, we see people making like a hissing sound. Nish Nish Ram Ram, Nish Nish Ram Ram. So this part appears like a hissing sound. Rest of the mantra is in a very low tone, and somehow to person next, I've heard, one Mataji and one Yatra we were going, she was chanting almost all day, but all I could hear is Nish Nish Ram Ram, Nish Nish Ram Ram, and that hissing sound was coming. So that is not okay, because it is breaking a mantra. So make sure that all the syllables, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. What helped me, actually, I was also dropping a couple Hares, but what helps me is taking a little pause. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Take a little pause, maybe one breath you can take. Then Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if you take a little breath in between, some people don't breathe for the whole mantra. Some people do 2 mantras without breathing. That is their capacity, but not a breath. But at least, give like a 3-second pause between the two. So then you don't drop any hares, because, we have many hares in there. So that is one. And then they say how loudly we should chant. We should not whisper. We should not chant within ourselves. That becomes more of smarana. It doesn't become japa. Japa means the sound should be heard. We have to hear our own japa. So if I'm chanting in my mind, it is really not japa. It is smarana. I'm trying to remember Krishna. But at the same time, it should not be loud enough to disturb. Suppose you're chanting in temple. There are many devotees around you, or you're chanting in a congregation, there are many devotees. You should not disturb their voice. So that person should not hear your voice over their voice. So make sure that that is not disturbing. So just you should hear very clearly. You should hear. Of course, if you're out in the open or something where nobody else is there, and you want the birds and the trees to hear the nama, sometimes I do when nobody's around and I'm outside, then I say it loudly, because the benefit of nama gets to the other living entities also. And then regarding how long we should chant is 6 to 8 minutes is recommended. So time your japa for one round. If you're chanting less than 6 minutes, means you're like dropping some of the mantras, or you're going too rapidly, and then you're probably dropping some of the syllables of each mantra. Or sometimes you may realize, sometimes this has happened to me. I'm chanting, and then when I look at the clock, like 20 minutes have passed, and I'm still in that round. That means I've slept. So none of the rounds should go more than 8-9 minutes. So please time them. And it happens when sometimes if my rounds are there after work and all, this has happened. So make sure you time your rounds. Then the third aspect of aligning the body is listening. So whatever mantras you're saying, you have to hear attentively. So every Hare you have to hear, every Krishna you have to hear, and you have to hear yourself chant. And again, many devotees have said that they keep Srila Prabhupada's tape and then hear his japa. No, actually, Srila Prabhupada himself said, don't do that. He says Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended that one should simply chant the holy name and hear it with attention, means hear his own japa. So Srila Prabhupada says, don't listen with my tape. That tape has come out in the media so that he can teach the newcomers. So it is not meant to be for us to follow it. So you have to hear yourself chant. So you have to hear your voice, nobody else's voice. So this is important, the thing that I learned. So what happens? Why should we hear attentively? Because as Bhagavatam says, Pravishta Karnarandhrena Swanam Bhava Saroruham Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna Salilasya Thasharat. So why is this sound so important? Because this sound incarnation of Krishna, whether it is Bhagavatam or Japa or Kirtan, enters into the heart. How does it enter? Pravishta means entering. Karnarandhrena means through the ears it will enter. Swanam Bhava Saroruham. Saroruham means lotus flower. Swana means, those are realized. So for a realized devotee, Krishna goes and sits on the lotus flower of his heart. And what does that do? Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna. What does Dhunoti means? To wash, like we wash clothes. So it washes our heart, cleans our heart of dust of material association, like, lust, anger, hankering. And how does it do? Salilasya yathasharat. So just like, when autumn comes and rains come, how, suppose you have a muddy place in front of your backyard, and then the rain comes in the autumn, how that whole mud is washed away. So just like that, when this Hare Nama enters through your Karnarandhrena, through your ears, it enters your heart, and your heart is clean, just like that room I showed. So keep your heart clean, and Krishna comes and sits there. Actually, if it is not clean, he will do the cleaning. So I heard from one, I think Amarinda Prabhu. So if say your house is very dirty, and some distant relative comes, and he'll look at the house and he will not want to stay, right? He'll say, okay, he'll just tell you, give you a message and wants to leave. Whereas if your house is clean, that person will come inside and would like to sit. That is one. And second thing, that person who is distant to you will not come inside the house and help you clean. But Krishna is so dear to us, and we are so dear to Krishna. So I believe even if your house is dirty, Krishna, if you invite, Krishna will come, take a broom and clean our heart. So here, this Hare Nama will enter your ear, enter your heart, and there Krishna will do the cleansing. So that's how your anarthas go away. And how does it go away? Just like, Salilasya Yatha Sharat. So like an autumn rain is pouring in your heart, all the mud, all that chatta we have in our heart will be washed away by hearing the Hare Nama. So listening is very important. That's why if you just say it and not listen to it, actually, half the effect is not there. Okay, and then some little less serious things. I'm going to ask you, what does radar japa mean? Anybody knows? Some little funny titles in how in the little ways of doing japa. Does anybody know what radar japa means? Anybody heard? Mataji's? Haribol.
Too fast?
Radar japa. What does a radar do? It scans everything, right? So we are looking at a million things around you while you're doing japa. It's called radar japa. and then what is it? Jipper japa. There's something called jipper japa. So jipper japa means you chant little bit like Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, and then you talk to somebody. Then you chant and then you talk to somebody. So that is called jipper japa. So please don't do that. And then one was, I like this very much. Radar japa, bomb japa. Bomb japa is when you're chanting while you're dozing off. Dive bomb. Like, you do this, you chant and then you do this. So that is called dive bomb japa. So this is what we should not do actually. So I'll read out. I got this article from somewhere. It was very very nice. So I thought I'll share. So don't chant while talking to someone. And this is we do. You this is very funny. We talk, and when somebody is replying, we chant, I believe. Have you ever done this? I think
Yes.
sometimes when there's no time, like I'm hearing to Bhagavatam, and when that Prabhu pauses, I chant. So that is all bad. So I'm laughing, but please don't do that. And chanting while reading. So Maharaj says you can do that if you have two heads, but we all have only one head. So we can't like read and do japa. We cannot listen to a radio and do japa. No chanting while shopping. No chanting while window shopping, and then chanting while you're dozing, and then chanting while sightseeing or looking around a million things is radar japa. I think we commonly do this, like when we go to yatras or eco village, we want to take a morning walk and then we do japa, and so we are doing this radar japa. Please don't do it. And then chanting while watching movies. I mean, this is people have done it. Chanting while watching movies, while watching cricket. People are doing this, unfortunately. And then chanting a little, talking a little, this I said. And then we can fill our favorites. What do we do? Chanting while cooking, chanting while driving. So all that you can fill. So all this, Maharaj, not actually this Maharaj, somebody else. I think Mahatma Das Prabhu. This is a site from his site. So he calls these courtesy japa. Okay, so courtesy japa means we want to just get it done as if we are doing a favor to Krishna, or we are doing a favor to Guru Maharaj, we are chanting. So all this sort of japa is to be, shunned. Please don't do it. I'm laughing, but it's very serious matter. So why is it a serious matter? Because this courtesy japa is like shooting a gun with blank bullets. Yesterday I told you about empty capsules. So this is also like, you can keep firing the gun, but if there are no bullets, there's no effect. So it is like that, I believe. So externally, yes, you have a gun, you have the Hare Nama, but there are no bullets. So there's no strength to this courtesy japa. And actually this practice we should curb initially, because what happens if you are in a habit of doing this bad chanting, it produces more bad chanting. Suppose I'm used to chanting like this for many years, then it's very hard for me to give up. So please, all of you, again introspect, see what is it that you're doing. Because that time should be exclusively for Krishna. I mean, I did something. Sometimes I used to, chant while driving. So all that is now stopped. So bad chanting produces more bad chanting. So don't do it. And again, some people may feel, the longer I chant, the better I become. But no, that's also wrong. So if somebody has chanted for 10, 15 years, it doesn't mean they are better, because if they're doing bad chanting, they will continue to do bad chanting. So it does not mean the longer you chant, the more advanced you'll become. So it has nothing to do with duration. Is how well are you doing? How much quality you have in your japa. How are you avoiding all these mistakes? So that is what makes you more advanced. Then so for all these corrections, you have to first analyze your japa, and that's why yesterday I said, look into your japa. So, and you have to fight that apathy. You'll be very tempted to not get up. You'll be very tempted to chant later in the night, or cooking and chanting. So all this is apathy. Apathy means we have inertia. We don't want to improve our japa. Why? Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, what does he say? Durdaivam idrisham ihajani na anuragaha. So in Shikshashtakam verse 2, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, I don't have, unfortunately, I'm so unfortunate that I have no attraction for chanting your holy names. So if we are doing all this, that means, even we don't have any attraction for chanting the holy name. So it's time that, we stop all these practices and start doing things correctly. Okay. Then the third aspect is, one second, aligning the... So everybody clear on aligning the body? Yes?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
So
Hare
what are the
Krishna.
three things we learned, devotees, in aligning the body? What are the three things we discussed?
Body, mind, and heart. I mean,
Mind
No,
and
no. In body, there are
Post-
three things we discussed.
pronunciation and
Posture?
listening.
Posture, Mataji.
Okay, first is posture. Second,
pronunciation,
pronunciation. Yes.
Pronunciation.
Third,
Listening.
hearing.
yes, correct. So you align body, mind, heart. In body, there is posture, there is pronunciation, there is listening. Okay. And actually I think we'll come to that in mind. Yeah. So now we'll discuss how to align your mind. Are you with me? Should I continue or not?
Yes, Mataji. అంటే కానీ
Yes.
Mataji ఇప్పుడు ఎంతో ఎంతో ట్రైన్డ్ బ్రహ్మచారీస్ కూడా గుళ్ళో కూడా చూస్తూ ఉంటాం మాతాజీ, టెంపుల్లో కూడాను. అడ్వాన్స్ వాళ్ళు కూడా ఇట్లా మాట్లాడుతూనే చేస్తూ ఉంటారు.
తప్పు
అదే న్యూ కమర్స్ కి ఏంటంటే ఇది ఒక ఇట్లా ఎలా అన్నా చేసుకోవచ్చు అన్న అభిప్రాయం వచ్చేస్తుంది కదా.
తప్పు మాతాజీ, తప్పు. Because you know what has happened, what I realized in our I mean unfortunately నేను ఓపెన్ గా చెప్పకూడదు కానీ we hear so much about, you know, Bhagavatam classes we attend, Bhagavad Gita we read, we know verses, we know purports, we go to Vrindavan pastimes, we talk about Radharani's love for Krishna, everything, but very rarely are people talking about japa, except, you know, exceptions are there, like, you know, some groups are there solely that are doing this as a serious thing, but we don't have a formal training in japa. And actually in US, a lot of japa retreats are done. Like, you know, Sachinandan Maharaj does, Mahatma Das Prabhu does, Devaki Mataji does. So there are some senior acharyas who are doing these retreats, japa retreats, where we learn. You know, we don't do that much. So I was actually thinking that, you know, something like this should be incorporated. Just like, you know, we do IDC or we do, you know, Bhakti Shastri. Before Bhakti Shastri, shouldn't we all know how to chant? So that formal education is missing. Actually, I thought I will, you know, talk to somebody, Radhesham Prabhu or somebody, to kind of incorporate this. So that is why, you know, I think unless somebody tells us that, you know, this is not correct, then, you know, for us it's okay, because out of the 108 mantras of each round times 16 rounds, how many mantras are we focusing? I don't think. I mean, I have not, you know, retrospectively today, how many mantras did I hear? I was not analyzing myself. So I think that's what happens. And that's why, that is what is the habit. That's what we are saying. We should not get into these bad habits, because if nobody has corrected those brahmacharis, then they are continuing to do it. I mean, if even walking,
సీనియర్ డెప్యూటీస్ కూడా, సీనియర్ వైస్ ప్రెసిడెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ ది టెంపుల్ ఆల్సో ఇక్కడ నేను ఖార్గర్ లో చూస్తూ ఉంటాను, పెద్ద వాళ్ళు అనమాట.
ఎందుకంటే ఎలా అయిపోయిందంటే జపా has become very mechanical, and then the whole point of for me doing this is, even I've realized that, you know, I am not doing it well after how many years, 10 years I wasted. So అలాగా some people may not be realizing. Again, you know, I'm not trying to offend anybody or say anything to seniors, my you know, worshipable seniors. They are there, you know, because they are very they are devoted, but there's always room for improvement, Mataji, andariki kuda. And then, or if somebody, you know, a very senior person, maybe even while walking, if he say, see, the whole focus should be how many mantras are you, you know, chanting with love and attention, bottom line for japa. So if that person is able to do that while walking, then, you know, no problem. So this is for us who, I mean, there are some baseline rules they are telling us, but say you've done good japa for many years, maybe you can walk around and also, you know, focus on the mantra. So then that is okay. So I don't want to be, you know, judgmental about individual people, but this is the best way for, you know, for those of us who really want to improve and introspect our own japa.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah.
వాళ్ళు అడ్వాన్స్ బట్ ద సిగ్నల్స్ అదర్స్ గెట్ ఈస్ sometimes confusing. New ones like me, actually.
తప్పు వస్తుండొచ్చు, కరెక్ట్, అది కరెక్టే. బట్ అట్లీస్ట్, you know, న్యూ కమర్స్ షుడ్ బి ట్రైన్డ్ బిఫోర్ వి గెట్ ఇన్ టు దీస్ బ్యాడ్ హ్యాబిట్స్. నిజంగా నేను నా పర్సనల్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ చెప్తున్నాను. నేను 10 years ఐ డిడ్ జపా, బట్ నాట్ వన్స్ డిడ్ ఐ అటెండ్, అంటే జపా క్లాస్ అటెండ్ చేసినా కూడా ఇట్ వాస్ ఆల్ గ్లోరీస్ ఆఫ్ హోలీ నేమ్, వై వి షుడ్ చాంట్. సో ప్రాక్టికల్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ మెల్లిమెల్లిగా తెలుస్తున్నాయి. అంటే see, every preacher in their talk, they will give us a few points, but concise ka ilaga only happens in retreats. And see, we learned a little bit in you know, Devaki Mataji's retreat, and that's why I was very keen on bringing somebody to do this workshop. But Aroju, actually it only happened for half a day, but my aim was to bring somebody that does this japa workshop for 3 days. It didn't happen. Mataji had, you know, got busy with other things, but this is how it should be. These retreats should be there for continuous 3 days on improving japa, and it US lo aithe chala jarugutayi. Ikkada kuda maybe we should start doing. I'll talk to somebody about this. Yeah, thank you.
Hare
Then,
Krishna, Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
yes, Mataji.
Mataji, can I ask question?
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, you said in the listening part, you said that one should listen their own japa. So, but when we join in a group, suppose we are chanting Sakhi Sangha group, but we are doing one after one chanting, right? So, but that time we have to unmute చేసు, I mean, సౌండ్ కొంచెం పెద్దగానే ఉంచుకోవాలి.
కాదు
ఎందుకంటే
వేరే వాళ్ళది చిన్నగా ఉంచుకోవాలి మాతాజీ, మనది వినాలి. నేను అందుకే when others are chanting, my volume is like 20% or something I put it. Just so I
yes
know
మాతాజీ.
first is chanting.
అలా పెట్టుకున్నప్పుడు
Ah.
మనం ఎలా చేస్తున్నాం, ఒకరు అయిపోగానే ఒకరు చేయడం అలా చేస్తున్నాం కదా.
Hmm.
సో ఇన్ సమ్ టైమ్ మాతాజీ పిలుస్తారు జపం చేస్తారా అనేసి. సో బట్ అది ఆ టైంకి మనకు వినిపించదు.
Hmm.
సో ఎలా మాతాజీ, ఎలా చేయాలి అప్పుడు?
కొంచెం 20% పెట్టుకోవాలి మాచి వాల్యూమ్. వెన్ దట్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ నాయిస్ లాగా ఉంటుంది వాళ్ళది. వెన్ దట్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ నాయిస్ స్టాప్స్, దెన్ యూ జాయిన్, యూ స్టార్ట్.
ఓకే ఓకే మాతాజీ. అదే
కొంచెం వినిపించి, అండ్ దట్స్ వై సమ్ టైమ్స్ ఐ మిస్ ఆల్సో. ఇప్పుడు ఎవరైనా పిలవకపోతే అది సైలెంట్ అయిపోతే కూడా సమ్ టైమ్స్ వి సీ దట్ నోబడీ స్టార్టెడ్ టు చాంట్ బికాస్ మేబీ దే ఆర్ ఆల్ ఆన్ మ్యూటెడ్ ఆర్ సంథింగ్. కానీ కొంచెం ఒక 20% పెట్టుకుంటే వీ కెన్ ఫాలో ద ఫ్లో.
ఓకే. నౌఏడేస్ వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ మాతాజీ, అలా చాంటింగ్ లో జాయిన్ అయినప్పుడు నా కాన్సంట్రేషన్ అంతా అటు వెళ్తుంది. ఏమో మాతాజీ పిలుస్తారేమో, మళ్ళీ పిలిచినప్పుడు ఆన్ చేయకపోతే బాగుండదేమో అన్నట్టుగా కొంచెం కాన్సంట్రేషన్ అటు వెళ్తుంది.
అలా వద్దు. యాక్చువల్లీ మేము హ్యాండ్స్ రేజ్ చేస్తున్నాము. సో వాట్ వీ కెన్ డూ ఇస్, ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ నాట్ రేజ్డ్ యువర్ హ్యాండ్, యూ జస్ట్ చాంట్. ద పర్సన్ దట్ రేజ్ దేర్ హ్యాండ్ విల్ బి నెక్స్ట్ పర్సన్. సో ఆ పర్సన్ కొంచెం ఒక 20% పెట్టుకుని వినాలి. నేను త్రూ అవుట్ వినను. వెన్ ఐ రేజ్ మై హ్యాండ్ ఆర్ ఐఎమ్ రెడీ టు చాంట్, ఆ కొంచెం నిమిషాలు వింటాను అంతే. దట్ ఈస్ సంథింగ్ యూ కెన్ డూ. యా,
థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ.
So then next is after body, aligning the mind. Now this mind is very troublesome, right? Mind is like a monkey. So this is something that we have to work on very actively as part of yojana. Chanting in yojana means a lot of it is to do with mind, and we know how uncontrolled our mind is, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. So what is mind? Mind is restless, turbulent means very up and down, and obstinate means very stubborn, and also very strong. So all four things, it's restless, it's turbulent, it's stubborn, and it is strong. So that's why it's very difficult to control the mind. And this is who Arjuna, the great mighty warrior Arjuna is saying. So what about us? So the mind is restless for all of us. So this Kali Yuga, they say, we have weapons of mass distraction, not destruction. Destruction also is going on, but we have weapons of mass distraction. What is the topmost weapon of mass distraction for us nowadays?
Mobile phone gadget.
మొబైల్
Mobile gadgets.
Mobile phone.
All medias.
Unless you are on Zoom call, please turn your phones off and put it somewhere that you don't get to. Okay, I personally make it a policy not to open my WhatsApp until I finish the japa. This I started because it is a big distraction. The WhatsApp, the green icons of the WhatsApp are very distracting. So keep some rule for you. Unless I get a hospital call, I don't pick up any calls. So something like that. You have to make a rule. So all sorts of distractions, you please somehow try to avoid. Like the maid comes, so I keep the door open from 5 o'clock. So if the maid comes, she'll come, and she knows she should not call me before 7. She won't disturb me. Even if the soap is over, she will find the soap and wash my dishes, but she won't disturb me. So she knows. So something like those rules we should do. Otherwise, you're chanting and you're talking to your maid, you're talking to your cook, or the gardener comes. So make sure that nobody disturbs you and you're not distracted. So phones, absolute no. If you're not on the Zoom, please not even have your phone, because what happens that early morning without the phone. I mean, how we are not prime ministers or chief ministers that people are going to die without us. Like the world doesn't care if you are not there. If I leave the planet today, nobody will care. I mean, the planet will continue to survive. So let us not think that we are very important and that we have to be always approachable, available to everybody. I'm sorry if I sound very firm, but I have to be firm because japa is a priority. So some of these distractions we should, even children, if they get up, if they are older kids, please let them go and have fix some breakfast or something. So let us not be like this invincible woman who wants to do everything for everybody at all times. This is our time with Krishna. So you can tell or discuss with your family how the schedule works. This is my time with Krishna. Kindly don't disturb me. So there's distractions, all distractions you should do away with. because I mean, this is external distraction I'm talking about. So the distraction can be internal or external. So what is an internal distraction is, so this is external, either your surroundings, or one is your surroundings, which is what I've just described. And then the other external distractions are, like a to-do list. When we sit to do japa, we want, even if it is Krishna conscious activities, our list comes up. Today, I have to call this Mataji, or, I have to go for this seva. I have to plan my cooking for, Jagannath Baldev Rath Yatra. So something or the other comes. So what I've heard some Maharajas saying, if that to-do list is perpetually on your mind, then what you do is stop your japa after that round, write a list of to-do things for that day, and then your mind will calm down, because you have it. Or I sometimes do this, because sometimes I have so many, follow-ups in the hospital and here and there. So I put down a list, then I forget about it. So for the next 2 hours of japa, forget about it. So this is something you can all try, because those lists are always there. Or, for breakfast मैं क्या बनाऊं, बच्चे को क्या टिफिन लगाऊं, वो सब आप रात में सोच के लगाना, सब సాయంత్రం ప్లాన్ చేసుకుని పెట్టుకోండి. So minimize these internal distractions and external distractions. And then internal distractions can also be, your past memories. All, nonsense. उसने ये कहा, ఆమె ఇలా చేసింది, అలా చేసింది, ఇప్పుడు ఇలా అన్నది, అప్పుడు ఇలా అన్నది, వాడు ఇలా ఎందుకు బిహేవ్ చేశాడు, వీడు ఇలా ఎందుకు బిహేవ్ చేశాడు. So all these, memories of 20 years కింద మా అత్తగారు నన్ను ఇలా అంది, అవన్నీ కూడా వస్తాయి. So please put them down. And then also our distractions can be future fantasies, or, oh, I need to buy this 4-bedroom house. How wonderful it will be, if my kid gets into Harvard, something like that. So future fantasies, it can be previous memories, it can be. This is all happening in our mind. That is the inner environment. So Maharaj says we have a very hectic inner environment. Hectic ante బిజీగా ఉంటుంది మన మైండ్. పొద్దున్న లేవగానే బిజీగా ఉంటుంది మైండ్ లోపల. సో అలా ఉండకండి, ఎందుకంటే that is an inner enemy. So for us, ఈ external enemies తక్కువే మనకి, కానీ internal enemies are more. Internal enemy is mind. And then we also get, and one of the other things is lusty desires, I believe. So if we have desires still, for material things, for sense enjoyment, also your mind will be very restless. And then sometimes we lose ourselves in inessential things. So I like that how Maharaj says inessential things. So life lo manamu, we have to understand there are too many things going on, and what is essential, what is inessential. కొన్ని చిన్న things మనం వదిలేయాలి. We should leave, like, okay, your kid always comes first, but he came second this time. Is it something to worry? No, let it go. If, some relative has said something mean to you, is it something to worry? Leave it, let it go. So like that, lot of inessential things we focus on, or, మాలి రాలేదనో, లేకపోతే చెట్లు పెరగలేవనో, అంటే చాలా మనం unnecessary things. And over time, after coming to Krishna consciousness, I've learned to let go of so many things. అంటే unnecessary things మన లైఫ్లో చాలా ఉంటాయి. ఆర్ ఆ ఫ్రెండ్ అలా ఎందుకు అన్నది నన్ను, నేనేం చేశాను అని అన్నది ఇలాగా. సో అవన్నీ ఆల్సో కేటగరైజ్ చేసుకోండి. వెన్ మైండ్స్ కమ్, ఈవెన్ వెన్ యూర్ నాట్ డూయింగ్ జపా, ఫార్ a Krishna conscious life, all these inessential things we should set it aside. If it doesn't matter to your life, అంటే 2 రోజుల తర్వాత మీకు ఆ విషయంతో పని లేదు, ఇవాళ ఏదో జరిగింది, 2 రోజుల తర్వాత దానికి ఏమి, ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్, సో జస్ట్ లీవ్ ఇట్. అలా చాలా మనము గార్బేజ్ మన లైఫ్లోంచి తీసేయచ్చు. అదర్వైజ్ వీ విల్ నాట్ గెట్ టైమ్ టు డూ జపా, do our reading and do our hearing. So this is, a message not just during japa, for everybody. So then in Chandogya Upanishad describes how our mind is. So our mind is like this. So this is called a falcon. It is the world's most fastest bird. I believe it goes at some 3,000 miles per hour. So this video is not showing that fast, but so this is called falcon bird. So our mind is like this. So it is always flying from one thing to the other, from one thought to the other. So this falcon, we have to tame it and tie it. How difficult it is to actually, catch this bird and tie a thread to its leg. It's very difficult, but that's how we have to do it. So when we are chanting, our mind will fly away to somewhere else. Then you pull it back, and you should basically, tie your mind like this. And another example, Maharaj gave is important, I wanted to share. So our mind is like this. So we are walking, so we are chanting, and for the first few rounds or for the first few mantras, the mind is with us. So it will come like a very faithful dog. It will follow you, step by step, step by step. And after some time, say after 2 or 3 rounds, like after the dog, after 1 round, what does it do? It goes in front. So it goes away from you, and this dog is actually pulling that lady. So let our mind not be like this. So our mind should walk with us. So if we are trying to focus on Krishna, it should be with us and not, so the mind should not drag you. So this is an example of how mind behaves. So it is calm for 1 or 2 rounds. So if you think, oh, my 2 rounds are going well, does not necessarily mean, rest of your 14 rounds will go well. So at every round, make sure, that this dog doesn't pull you. So basically, for mind exercise, what do we have to do? One is, first of all, realizing our mind is not focusing on the mantra. This also sometimes we miss. We think we are focusing, but sometimes I'm chanting, and then I come to the end of the bead and I realize, like, I probably heard only 10 or 20 mantras, and the rest have all gone. I'm sure everybody experienced that. So then if you're not realizing that we are not hearing the Hare Nama, then then there's no room for correction. So unless you realize that your mind is not focusing, then it doesn't work. I love this example that Maharaj gives. Suppose, you go to somebody's house and you're trying to talk to that person, and that person is constantly getting phone calls, or she is on the phone for most of the time you are in that room. Will you be able to have a decent conversation with that person who you went to talk to? No, right? I mean, this happens sometimes in the houses also. You're trying to talk to your husband and he's always on the phone. I'm sure you experience it, or vice versa. Wives are on the phone and husband is trying to talk, or something like that. So they say when our mind is busy with all these other things, so Krishna sees it as we being on the phone, and then he will not have a conversation with us. Right? Beautiful example, right? Mataji, are you all there?
Yes, Mataji.
Nice
Yes,
example.
Mataji.
Thought-
Very good.
So
Very
you should
much.
remember this. So whenever our mind is busy, it is like you're talking on the phone and Krishna will not come to us. So what we should do is we should drag it back to the mantra. So every time, first we have to be alert and then drag your mind back to the mantra. So Krishna says, Yato yato nischalati manas chanchalam asthiram tatasthato niyamaityad atmani eva vasam nayet. So wherever the mind wanders, from wherever the mind wanders due to flickering and unsteady nature, one must withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. So this is in Bhagavad Gita. So every time it goes back, just pull it back, just like the dog. So the dog is going forward, you pull it back. You have the thread, right? So you pull it back. So every time it goes, you pull it back. And then, so most of the time our mind tries to go back into the past, just like what we discussed, or goes back into the future. So Maharaj says, be in the present. So nothing is going to change of the past. You cannot change the past. Future, nobody knows. Whether you'll be alive also, you don't know. So be in the present. So this is so today, these 2 hours are my only chance to be with Krishna. So I'm going to be completely present in that. So this is the attitude we should do it. And then we have to focus our mind on chanting, because that is the goal for that 2 hours. So we all know the example of how Arjuna shoots the eye of the bird, because he's focusing only on the eye. He's not seeing the bird, he's not seeing the tree, he's not seeing the leaves, he's not seeing the other disciples, nor his guru. So all he saw was the bird's eye, and therefore he was able to shoot the eye of the bird. So just like that, all we should see in that morning 2 hours is japa and Krishna. So only then we'll be able to do good quality japa. And then we have to somehow, make our mind our friend, right? That's what Krishna says. Bandhur atmanasmanatasya yenatmanaivatmana jitau anatmanastu chatrutve vartatmaiva chatruvat. So your mind can be your best friend or your enemy, based on, how you train it. So make your mind your best friend. How to make it your best friend? Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairakena cha grihyate. So abhyasa. So you need abhyasa. So what is abhyasa we need for here? You have to get your mind back. Train your mind to focus on the holy name. Train your mind to come back. Train your mind to, be in the present. So it is abhyasa. So every day we are doing this abhyasa. We have to continue to do it. And then part of the reason why we can't focus is, we don't have love for Krishna. Hopefully that will come. And we also have some lusty desires. So we still have sense gratification left in us. And that's why also we cannot focus. So we have to control our senses. And how? Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Adha samharate chayam kurmo nagnaiva sarvasaha indriyan indriyatebhyas tasya pragna pratishtitha. So just like when turtle sees danger around it, what does it do? It doesn't run away. It just withdraws its limbs and its head inside this hard shell, and it stays there. So it is protected from, the outside dangers. Like even, lions and tigers, I believe, cannot pierce this shell. So it just simply withdraws its senses. So just like that, at least for those 2 hours, we have to withdraw our senses from, engaging in pleasure giving thoughts from the moon. So controlling the senses is another one. And then Srila Prabhupada says, very simply, he says, when one disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, it's very difficult to control my mind when I chant. So Prabhupada said, what is controlling of mind? You just have to chant and hear, that's all. So you have to chant with your tongue and the sound you hear, that's all. What is the question? Where is the question of the mind? So he kind of simplifies, but really, if you say the mantra and you're hearing the complete mantra, then, the mind should not come in between. So he says, that's how. So if you're very clearly pronouncing and clearly hearing, then really, mind doesn't come in between. So that's what Prabhupada recommends. So this is about aligning the mind. So let's see. Some exercises are also there in this. So yeah, actually what Maharaj says for aligning the mind is he gives some exercises. He says, actually first, before sitting down for japa, what you should do is you should sit down in that erect position and take few deep breaths without beginning to chant. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Do that now. Everybody close your eyes and take a few breaths. Deep breaths, 3-4 breaths. Yeah. So this breathing, deep breathing, will actually calm your mind. So suppose you got up and you came to do japa and you have a lot of thoughts in your head going on, try this. This has worked for me. So you sit calmly, you do like 2 minutes of deep breathing, and then it's almost like, your breathing has cleared your mind, and then you'll be able to focus on the mantra. Did you all do it? Anybody feels the difference? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mata.
Right, well, this has really worked for me. Just 1 minute you spend on sitting erect and deep breathing, and your mind becomes very clear, and then you can focus on chanting. So that is one practical example. And then Maharaj says, the first Hare, you have to focus. So one effective technique is to focus the mind on the first Hare of each mantra. So when you do that, then you slowly immerse yourself in the mantra, he says. So actually, you can also try this. Start to sit in that pose, the Padmasana pose. Start to chant slowly. Focus on the first Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and then gradually, Maharaj says you have to immerse yourself as if, everybody can see this picture. I didn't put it on the PPT. Can you all see this picture? So, or I'll describe you. So you have to imagine yourself standing on the bank of a river. Okay. And then fold your hands and you're saying the first Hare. And then how, in order to, get used to the water, what do? We don't jump into the water, right? So you gradually put your feet in the water and you start to walk slowly and you go deeper and then you completely immerse in a river. So it's like you're getting accustomed to
స్లైడ్ మారలేదు మాతాజీ స్లైడ్ మారలేదు
Marlene Maji, I don't have this on the PowerPoint. I was just showing this in the
ఓకే
picture.
సారీ
So you stand like this on the bank of the river, then you enter the river a little bit slowly, and then finally you dip yourself. So this is how the Maharaj says you should do the mantra. So focus on Hare, first Hare, and then slowly immerse yourself in the mantra. Try this, close your eyes, sit down, focus on the first Hare nicely, deeply, and then you rest of the mantra you do as if you're entering into a river. You can picture yourself entering into the river. Try this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, better focus.
Yes, Mataji.
You should try this. I mean, it takes a while. So that is another technique Maharaj has said. And breathing, I told you. Yeah. So he says inhale 4 times and exhale 4 times. So that is the way you get your mind to focus. And then, yeah. And then fix your mind. We talk about fixing your mind. Yeah. And then fix your mind on the heart space. So fix your mind here, and then you can meditate on Sri Krishna. You can imagine how beautiful he is, and then you can, with that fixing of mind on Krishna, you can chant. Actually, you chant without fixing anywhere. You do one mala, one mantra, just like that, without thinking of anything. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, close your eyes. Think about Krishna, the blue complexion Krishna, the Shama Sundara, is coming out of the Yamuna river with a yellow dhoti, with a Vaijayanti mala around his neck, with wet hair that is dripping water, with a beautiful lotus-like lips, starting to play on the flute. So imagine this Krishna in your heart, and then you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Did you do that with me?
Yes.
Mataji?
Yes,
Mataji.
Is that better?
Mataji, you are pulling us into it and you are again dragging us back.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You are doing it very
I was
fast
afraid
and
I
we
would
are
drown in
into
the
it.
river,
Taking
Mataji.
us close to Krishna and again calling us.
Sorry for separating you from Krishna.
Mataji, I was afraid even while chanting I may drown in the river.
See, it makes a difference, no? How
Yes,
beautiful,
Yeah.
so beautiful I
we
thought.
have
I
to
was
enter
into
the
the
river and
river. I was into the river and you pulled us back.
From tomorrow, you can immerse yourself in the morning.
but this is true, Mataji.
Yes.
If we imagine Krishna's form,
Very
we'll be getting more concentration, Mataji. I observed that.
So closing eyes, breathing,
Yes, Mataji.
imagining.
Yes.
These three have really immensely helped me also. Okay.
Yes,
So
Mataji.
let's move on. Can I continue? Another few slides I have. The
Yes, Mataji.
heart
Yes.
will finish. So now third point is aligning the heart. So now we've done the body, the mind, now the heart, the most important. So what they say is we have to become very conscious of our need for Krishna. How many think yes, we are doing chanting, we know bhakti is important, but how many of us really feel that we need Krishna in our lives? Everybody?
Yes, Mataji. All of us
I
need.
really want
Yeah, so it should be
Mataji.
I want Krishna.
need for Krishna. Actually, Maharaj says, we should think that we need Krishna, but our mind is has such a cheating propensity. I believe we think of Krishna and then we think of Krishna for our needs. Then we also, ask him for a home, ask him for money, fame, adoration, partners, and all that. So yes, we need Krishna, but not for these material things. So we have to move away. When we say we need Krishna, it means, not for these things. So with a very, devotional heart, we should stay away from these all other superficial things. And how should we want Krishna? We should want Krishna, I only want you, nothing else. So mujhe na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware, bhavatat bhakti rahaitu ki tvai. So, I don't want na dhanam, no money, no followers, no women. न धनं न जनं न सुंदरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनि जन्मनि. So life after life after life, bhavatat bhakti rahaitu ki tvai. So give me, only bhakti to your lotus feet. Ahaitu ki means uninterrupted, unmotivated. Yes, so our bhakti should be unmotivated, right? Like Ahituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. So we should want unmotivated bhakti. So like that, we only want Krishna, we only want you. Not your this, your that, or my this, my that. Krishna, we only want you. So this should be our alignment, with Krishna every morning. And then Maharaj beautifully explained that, we have three hearts. One is a material heart, which, is our wanting, this thing, that thing. One second. Yeah, one is a material heart with which we ask for things. Let me see where it's. Yeah. Yes. So material heart, which wants, different kinds of things, material things. And then we have a emotional heart, which our emotional heart is invested into, where did I lose that? 1 second. Yes, aligning that. Yeah. So emotional heart. So no, the material heart is actually what pumps, in my area, the heart pumps blood to the body. So that is a material heart. Then we have an emotional heart where you have feelings of, friendship, community, happiness, peace, pain, all that is happening in an emotional heart. Then in addition to that, we also have a spiritual heart that, we often overlook. So what does the spiritual heart do? It is where, our true self resides. So it is our Atma, where the Lord Paramatma, our Lord resides, we reside, is in the spiritual heart. So it is most important. However, we forget about this because it gets covered over by our daily activities. So Maharaj says, we should find this heart. We should find this spiritual heart. So how will we find this spiritual heart? By reaching out to Krishna. So Krishna, I only want you, and Krishna, I need your shelter. Krishna, please, begging you to give me service. So when you reach out to Krishna, what happens? This spiritual heart will get revived, and this is what we are doing by japa. In japa we are saying, Radha Krishna, give me service. So you're reviving your spiritual heart by begging for service. So you beg. What do you beg for from Krishna? What do you need from Krishna? Matajis, dear devotees, what do you need from Krishna?
Krishna Prema.
Krishna Prema.
Love.
అంతకంటే ముందు డైరెక్ట్ కృష్ణ ప్రేమకి
Krishna
వెళ్ళిపోతే
mercy.
Seva.
We need
Shraddha
bhakti.
kavali,
Bhakti kavali. Shraddha, bhakti.
మర్సీ కావాలమ్మా, మర్సీ
Krupa.
bhakti.
మర్సీ
Bhakti.
లేనిది మనకి దట్ ఫోర్త్ గేట్ వోంట్ ఓపెన్. సో వి నీడ్ మర్సీ, వి నీడ్ సర్వీస్, వి నీడ్ షెల్టర్. కృష్ణ ప్రేమ ఆయనకి ఇష్టం ఉంటే ఇస్తాడు. యాక్చువల్లీ ఇట్స్ నాట్ సంథింగ్ వీ షుడ్ ఆస్క్ ఫర్. వీ షుడ్ ఆస్క్ ఫర్ సేవ అండ్ కృప అండ్ shelter. Then that will come. So Maharaj says, chant your japa or kirtana from this deepest place within our spiritual heart, begging the divine couple for service. So mana prayer, so chanting is actually a prayer. It should come from that core of the heart. Mana lips and tongues saripodu, from the core of the heart to మనం బెగ్ చేసుకోవాలి, కృష్ణుని సేవ ఇమ్మని, రాధాకృష్ణుని సేవ ఇమ్మని. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద ట్రూ స్పిరిట్ ఆఫ్ చాంటింగ్. దెన్ ఎలా ఉండాలి మన అంటే హార్ట్, యువర్ ఐ రిమెంబర్ దిస్, ఇక్కడ లేదు కానీ వాట్ ఇస్ దట్ వర్డ్స్ వేర్ కులశేఖర్ ఆళ్వార్ సేస్ ఇన్ ముకుందమాల స్తోత్రం. What is that verse? I'm forgetting. Where, let my, that's of course of mind. Let my, mind be always, in you. Just like, how the swans in the river.
In the lotus, right, Mataji?
లోటస్ స్టెమ్స్, ఎలా స్వాన్ నెక్స్ అంతా ఇలా లోటస్ స్టెమ్స్ ని చుట్టుకుంటాయంట. అలాగా ఆ వర్స్ మర్చిపోతున్నాను నేను. సో అలాగా లెట్ మై మైండ్ ఆల్వేస్ బీ ఎంటాంగిల్ ఇన్ లోటస్ ఫీట్ అని కులశేఖర్ ఆళ్వార్ ప్రే చేస్తారు. సో అలాగా మన హార్ట్ కూడా ఎప్పటికీ భగవంతునితో కనెక్షన్ లో ఉండాలని వి షుడ్ ప్రే. సో విష్ణు పురాణంలో అంటారు, య ప్రీతిర్ అవివేకాన విషయేస్వ అనపాయిని త్వాం అనుస్మరత స మే హృదయాన పాసార్పతు. సో అర్థం ఏంటంటే, లైక్ అన్ఇంటెలిజెంట్ పర్సన్స్ మీన్స్ మెటీరియలిస్టిక్ పీపుల్ హ్యావ్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఎఫెక్షన్ ఫర్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఆఫ్ సెన్స్ గ్రాటిఫికేషన్. అవివేకానం అంటే యా ప్రీతి, అవివేకులకు ఏముంటుంది? ప్రీతి. దేని పట్ల ఉంటుంది ప్రీతి? విషయం పట్ల. విషయం అంటే మెటీరియల్. సో దే ఆర్ ఆల్వేస్ అట్రాక్టెడ్ టువర్డ్స్ మెటీరియల్ థింగ్స్. అలాగే సిమిలర్లీ త్వాం అనుస్మరత మీన్స్ ఆల్వేస్ రిమెంబరింగ్ యూ, always remembering you. So let me have that kind of attachment. How materialistic people have materialistic attachments, let me have the same attachment applied to you, and this attachment will never leave my heart. So hrudayana pasarapatu. So let this attachment that I have for you, I mean we don't have it, but we should have that, and let it never leave my heart. So ఆ హృదయాల్లో ఆ అటాచ్మెంట్ ఉండాలి భగవంతుడి పట్ల, ఎప్పటికి కూడా అది పోకూడదు అని అంటున్నారు. తర్వాత ఇంకో ఉదాహరణ ఏమిస్తారంటే, యువతీనాం యథా యునియునాం చ యువతౌ యథా మనోభిరమతే తద్వాన్ మనో మే రమతాం త్వయి. So we've heard this verse also. So just like, minds of young girls are always, taking pleasure in thinking of young boys. How, boyfriend, girlfriend always wants to meet the girlfriend is always thinking about the boyfriend. So just like they take pleasure in each other, what we should take pleasure, may my mind take pleasure, mind and heart take pleasure in you. So mano bhiramate tadvan mano me ramatam twayi. Twayi means you, rama means pleasure. So let me take pleasure, let my mind and heart take pleasure in you is what, this should be our mood when we are chanting. Then it won't be mechanical at all. Then Then also another prayer in Chaitanya Charitamrita, our mood should be like Krishna Tomara Hana Yadi Bale Ekabara Maya Bandhaite Krishna Tare Kare Para. So sincerely what we should pray, my dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, years Kada, we have forgotten the Lord for many millions of lifetimes. So Krishna Tomare Hana Yadi Bale Ek Bar. So I have forgotten about you in this lifetime, but I am surrendering today unto you. I am your sincere serious servant. Please engage me in your service. Maya Bandhaite Krishna Tare Kare Para. So, Krishna is going to get us over that material world. So, even though I've forgotten you for many lifetimes, I'm now surrendering. So, this should be our mode. We have also done this. We've been away from Krishna for lifetime. So, this is at least, we are remembering that we are away. So, let us, make the sincere attempt of telling him that, we are surrendering. So this mood is very important, because otherwise, alignment of body, mind is fine. Mind lone man struggle avutunnam kani we have to come to this platform where, we are in that prayerful mood. That mood is what, is makes that, capsule full, attracts Krishna. So it won't be an empty bullet from your gun. So this is what we need to do, do our japa every round, actually, in a very prayerful mode. If you want, pause and see how your japa went, whether you were in prayerful mood, the next round at least, make an attempt. Ante ee mood మనం create చేసుకోవాలి. That's why I feel like before we chant japa, we should come to this mood and then japa చేయాలి. ఊరికే ఇలాగా పట్టుకుని చేయటం కాదు. So ఇలా చేస్తే, then wait, let us see what exercise Maharaj gives for aligning the heart. Yeah, so he says, aligning the heart you can do with this, need for Krishna. We should imagine that how badly we need Krishna and that we are reaching out to him. And then you can either put a picture of the Lord or deity if you have. So deity mundu chesukochu manamu, lepothe Tulsi Maharani mundu chesukochu. You can beg her also to give love of Krishna. And then some verses, that may be very inspiring to you about, your attachment. Like here it says, one verse where, let my attachment for you increase more and more. One prayer is there, so that you can do, or simply focus on the meaning of the prayer that, we are asking for service. So Maharaj gives a few verses here that, you can focus on to get this mood. And one I'll read. Ajata Paksha Iva Mataram Khaga Sthanyam Yatha Vatsarakshuddhartha Priyam Priyeva Vyusatyam Visanna Mano Ravindaksha Didrikshatvam. Where is this? Anybody recognizes this verse? It is from prayers of Vritrasura. So Vritrasura says, O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them. సో ఎలాగైతే పక్షులు, చిన్న పిట్టలు వాళ్ళ తల్లి రావడానికి చూస్తారో ఫుడ్ తెస్తుందని, తర్వాత ఎలాగైతే చిన్న కావ్స్ మనం టై చేస్తాం కదా, అవి యాంగ్షియస్గా తల్లి కోసం వెయిట్ చేస్తాయి, మిల్క్ వచ్చి ఇస్తుందేమో తల్లి అనేసి అలా వెయిట్ చేస్తాయో, ఆర్ ఎలాగైతే ఒక హస్బెండ్ దూరంగా వెళ్ళిపోతే ట్రిప్ మీద ఊరికి వెళ్తే ఎలా వైఫ్ వెయిట్ చేస్తుందో ఆయన రావటానికి, అలాగంట మనం వీ హ్యావ్ టు వెయిట్ ఫర్ కృష్ణ. మనో రవిందాక్ష దిద్రిక్షత్వం. సో ఐ ఆల్సో yearn for the opportunity to render service to you. So this is the mood we should have in our hearts. Only then, it will probably open the door. So ఇలా చేశాక ఈ లాస్ట్ డోర్ ఏదైతే మనం చెప్పుకున్నామో, మన వల్ల కాదు తీయటం, లోపల నుంచి భగవంతుడు తీయాలని. సో ఆ లాస్ట్ డోర్ ఓపెన్ అవుతుందా అన్న ప్రశ్న రావచ్చు మనకి ఇవన్నీ చేశాక. సో ఈ ప్రయాస మనం అలైనింగ్ బాడీ, మైండ్ అండ్ హార్ట్ చేసేది, ఆర్ నెక్స్ట్ ఫ్యూ చాప్టర్స్ లో మనం చేసేది, we are trying to create a favorable situation, to show the Lord that we are eager, because ultimately mercy ఆయన ద్వారా రావాలి, కానీ మనం చేసే ప్రయాస ఆయన చూస్తాడు. So he will see our eagerness, our enthusiasm, our struggle. Basically, we are struggling. I am struggling to attract him. So yeah, so that struggle he has to see, that eagerness he has to see. And then so mana valla we have to align this three things, and then show the Lord that we want to receive him. So don't be on the phone call when Krishna comes, don't be on the WhatsApp when Krishna comes. So be available and pray to Guru Parampara and Gaur Nitai, and then we have to patiently wait. And Krishna ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamiham. So whatever, with how much ever desire we have, Krishna will reciprocate. So if you have the desire, he'll reciprocate. So you have to be a grateful receiver. At the end, this japa is not something, that we want to achieve. Oh, ivalu nenu 16 rounds 1 hour lo chesesanu, poddunne chesesanu kaadu. So instead of being a passionate achiever, we have to be a grateful receiver. So this is great mercy we are receiving, that we know about the mantra and we are able to do the mantra. So that gratitude should be there. Endukante unless we have Krishna's mercy, we cannot chant. Ante innelu kaani inni round kaani manam cheyalem. So that gratitude unte kuda manaki that attracts Krishna. So thank you all very much for giving me this opportunity. It's a vision for me. I'm trying to improve with all your blessings. So I need all of your blessings. Thank you, Mataji.
హరే కృష్ణ మాతాజీ, థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్. చాలా విషయాలు తెలుసుకున్నాం మాతాజీ మేము అబౌట్ చాంటింగ్. రియల్లీ మాతాజీ, చాంటింగ్ మీన్స్ yes, we are doing chanting since 18 years మాతాజీ. But then also yesterday and today what I learned, really it is very useful thing మాతాజీ.
Yes,
Really we are very grateful.
I was also I learned many things myself also, Mataji. That's why I'm sharing. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So if
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much, Mataji, for realizing.
It's all Guru's mercy. If you have learned anything from today's talk, it is all, the Guru Parampara's mercy. Thank you, Mataji.
ఇప్పటి వరకు అసలు ఏమి జపా చేయనట్టే మాతాజీ.
హరే కృష్ణ. హరే కృష్ణ.
మాతాజీ హరే కృష్ణ.
Hare Krishna.
These
Mataji.
days
Thank you,
mechanically we were doing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Mechanically. We have to come.
Mataji, I would like to share నాకు క్విక్ రియలైజేషన్